body to actually really just relax, release, feel better. So then going forward for any of the exercises you want to do, and this is a great session to do kind of before you do any hard workouts, but also to do after any hard workouts. So it can be used before and it can be used afterwards. It could also be used as both, which would be quite good. So I would highly recommend it. So a lot of athletes, if they're training and they're training hard, or for instance runners or anybody who's doing triathlons, Ironman, they will actually do fascia release work before their event, before their training, before their program, whatever it is they're doing, and then they'll do it again afterwards as well. So it can be used as prehab and rehab from there. Now I use the spiky ball. Also you could use a foam roller, but it's not going to work as good on the feet for sure. The spiky ball really works on the trigger points because it's got the little points on it. And with regards to the fascia that you have, there are trigger points that you'll hold on to within your body, and those trigger points can hold like physical tension as well as emotional tension as well. So it's quite interesting when you start learning about fascia. Fascia is a connective tissue. It literally covers the whole of your body from your head to your foot. And if you imagine that you were covered in like a cling film, it would be like that. So a cling film covering your body from head to toe. If there is one point of that cling film which is tight, it's going to pull on the rest of it. So if you imagine that you've got like cling film around a bowl and you tighten that cling film at the bottom, everywhere else is going to tighten. And that's exactly what's happening with the fascia in your body. So for instance, if your feet are very tight, then that's going to really affect the rest of the body there as well. So it will really kind of pull on that kind of every area of your body. So for instance, if your feet are very tight, it can affect your hips, it can affect your back, it can affect your shoulders from there. Your fascia is a connective tissue and it has trigger points within it. Your glutes, your bum has the most trigger points on them, probably because they're the biggest muscles, but also that fascia can hold not only physical tension, but it can also hold emotional tension as well. So sometimes when we do quite a deep fascia release work, you can almost feel quite emotional after it, whether that be happy, whether it be sad, whether it be quite tearful, whether it be elated and you know, you find it quite funny and you're laughing. It can actually help to just clear and release everything from the body. Just like if you had a deep tissue massage, sports massage kind of therapist doing some deep tissue work on you, you might feel afterwards not only a physical response but also an emotional response to that as well. So I just want you to be aware of that. The biggest thing I want you to do is flush out the toxins that we're going to be releasing. So during the class, I definitely want you to be drinking, fluiding up, making sure you're drinking lots of water, and then afterwards I want you to drink as much water as possible tonight, because it's going to help to really flush out those toxins, and try not to put any other external toxins into the body. So just be mindful of what other toxins you're taking in tonight, and if possible keep it really clean, and then that will massively help you. The great thing about these as well, when you're working and doing your trigger point work and kind of releasing the fascia, is that also because you're moving the toxins around the body, you're also helping to remove things from various areas. So for instance, if you hold on to cellulite, like on the back of the legs or on your bottom, it helps to kind of get rid of that and kind of flush it through. So it's a win-win situation. I'm just going to close my conservatory door and we are ready to rock and roll. So gang, I am going to start you standing. I want you to take a bit of a drink to start with. Make sure you're not dehydrated going into this. Now I do want you to be aware of a couple of things. We never fascia release over any broken wounds, so any open wounds, any broken veins or any thread veins, varicose veins, or anything like that. You never ever put pressure onto those. If you've got any open wounds, any cuts, any bruises, anything like that, do not do any fascia release over those. The other thing to be aware of is if you're pregnant, and I know I've got a couple of pregnant ladies in my group, if you're pregnant, be careful of the footwork that you're going to do. Now you can absolutely do the trigger point work anywhere else on your body, but on your feet, there are various points on your feet which can induce your labour. So unless you want to give birth right now, don't do your feet, all right? So just move up through the rest of the body and you'll be absolutely fine. Otherwise, if you are at the point where you want to get that baby out, maybe look at doing your feet, because it can help get things going and get things moving. Okay. So we're not going to start in our perfect Pilates posture tonight. Instead, we're going to just go straight in with our feet. So the first thing I want you to do is be accountable. How do those feet feel? Pedal through your foot from right to left. Recognise how that feels for you tonight. Maybe take a walk up and down your mat. And I want you to be aware of how do your feet feel? Is there tension that you're holding on to within your feet? How does your body feel? How does your knees, your hips, your back, your shoulders, everything else in there as well? Whenever you're ready, you're going to bring that ball underneath your right foot and we're going to start to rub. And I want you to put as much pressure as you possibly can into that foot. So let's get started to release the foot as much as we can. We're going to work into the arch. We're going to work under the toes. If you've got bunions, I want you to try and work into the bunion as much as it feels okay. Go round the side of the foot, go round the back of the heel. Not only rub forward and back, but also rub in and out. So working side to side onto that foot. And just see how that feels. Is there any sweet spots that you can detect straight away? Start to rotate. So rotate round all the way through. Go in both directions. And whenever that feels good for you, when you've had a really good rub there and you're putting as much pressure as you possibly can into the foot, you're going to put the heel down, place the ball underneath the mid-metatarsal joint. So underneath that kind of mid part of your foot there. Heel drops, so the heel down into the floor, and we're going to try and put as much weight as we can into this leg. Now you might feel the stretch into your calf, into your Achilles, coming down into that heel. Literally, I've got no weight on my left leg. It's all into this right side. Now when you stand, can you bend your knee and release? And I'm talking about the right leg. So bend and release. Keep it going. Drop and release. Do one more. Drop. Release. Go back to the rub. So let's rub through. So I want you to rub both forward and backwards, side to side, and rotate. Take your time as you do it. And just be aware of how that feels for you. Go back, the back of the heel, the calcaneus, under the toes, in on that arch, round the outside of the foot at the same time. Let's give that a real good release. Try and put as much weight as you can into that foot. Well done. You're going to go under the mid-metatarsal joint again. Heel's going to drop, the other foot goes by your side. Maybe just more than hip distance. Take a squat, down and lift. So we're going to start to put weight through into those trigger points in the feet. We're trying to get the foot to release. Under the mid-metatarsal joint, because that's the joint that gets locked a lot when we wear shoes that really aren't really appropriate for us. And then that can change the way that you walk, the way you stand, the way you move. Back to the rub. So again, back on that side, I want you just to push through as much as you can into that side. Under the toes, let's get that to release. Round the back of the heel as much as you can. So now that kind of tickling stage is probably past. I want you to really apply quite a lot of pressure here. You're definitely putting more weight into the leg that's got the ball than the leg that you're standing on. So really shift that weight over. And if you find any sweet spots, so any areas that feel kind of particularly tight, any areas that feel maybe they're a bit stiff, I want you to work into those a little bit more. Work into them a little bit deeper. We're going to place that ball under the mid-metatarsal joint. Foot goes parallel, other side, maybe hip distance or wider. Breath in, breath out, roll down, drop the chin, hands on the thighs, create your flat back. Look forward, push your bottom back. Inhale. Exhale, roll and lift. Roll down when you're ready. Square off your feet, gangs. It's very, very easy to allow your feet to track out. And I want you to just try and think about those feet staying in alignment with your knees. Now, if you wish to, rather than coming to the halfway, if you want to come all the way down into your roll down, please do. Rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae. As you stand tall, roll the shoulders. Inhale, lift. Exhale, and you roll. Let the weight of the head bring you over. Slowly rise. Stand tall, release the shoulders. Go back to the rub one more time. So again, thinking about how this foot feels, trying to get it to really relax, really respond for you tonight. In on that instep, especially if you've got fallen arches, or if you've got very high arches, and the arch is very painful. Maybe you hold a lot of tension here in the foot. Underneath the bunion, if you've got it there. Underneath the big toes. Moving through all the toes and round the side of the foot. 10 seconds as hard as you can now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, release. Take a little walk around. See how that foot feels now. Whenever you're ready, you're going to bring this back and you're going to come onto the other side. So let me know how that foot feels. I'm hoping it feels good. I'm hoping it feels maybe a little bit more spread out. If your arches are fallen, maybe hopefully that feels a little bit lifted. And I want you to work through on the other side. So remember, you're going forward and backwards, you're going side to side and you're rotating. You're working into every part of your foot. Not leaving any area out. Really trying to get the whole of that connective tissue to respond. Press it through. Put as much weight as you possibly can into that leg. When that feels good for you, place the ball under the mid-metatarsal joint, let the heel hang low. Other foot goes parallel but wider than the hips. I want you to squat through. Pushing your weight in there. Let your heel come down. So you're going to feel the stretch coming through the calf, coming through the Achilles, down deep into that heel. Push your bottom back, keep your head high. Give me 4 more. 3 more. 2. You're going to put all your weight into that leg. So just apply that little bit of pressure there. Stand. Again, you could lift your right foot off the floor. Feel that. Feel the release. Let the foot respond. When you're ready, go back to your rub. Now already we're going to be moving toxins through the body, so if it feels like you need to have a drink anytime, please do. I want you to really get that foot to relax. Maybe move through the arch, maybe move through the back of the heel. So you're pushing forward and backwards. Taking that good release. Whenever you're ready, heel down, ball under the mid-metatarsal joint, take the other foot, parallel, and from here, inhale. Exhale, roll down. Halfway point, if that feels good for you, hands on the thighs just above the knees, look forward. Inhale, exhale, roll up. You've got the option. As you go down, take a full roll down, or halfway, you choose. Try and keep the feet in alignment with the knees and the hips. As you roll up, we can roll the shoulders, go again, or lift the arms up if you wish. Inhale, exhale, and roll. Take your time as you come over. Inhale, exhale, rise. I'd love you to do 2 more of these. So articulate the back, vertebrae by vertebrae. Putting as much weight as you possibly can into that foot. Get it to respond, get it to release. Inhale, exhale, lift. Make sure the heel is down. The ball is under that mid part of the foot. Roll up. When we come up, we're going back to the rub. So back to that kind of forward and back position, side to side, the instep, the outer part of that foot, under our toes. I suffer quite badly with my 4th toe on this side. I get a lot of pain in it. So I'm really trying to work into that area, just underneath my toes, but not forgetting about the rest of my foot. So absolutely, if you find sweet spots, work into them. But don't forget about the rest of the foot as well. And really try maybe to circle like I'm doing right now. Moving forward and backwards, side to side, getting some response there. Whenever that feels good for you, we're going to do 10 seconds as hard as we can. Give me 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Take the walk around. Think about how your feet feel. When you're ready, bring it back and come back to a pedal push. And I'm hoping they're feeling good. Anchor the feet under the hip bones. Brace the belly, squeeze the bottom. Roll the shoulders back, up to the ears and back down. Be aware of how they feel. Rotate the other way when that feels good for you. Decide out of those 2 positions which feels better. So which gives you the best release tonight, personally for you. Right hand on the right shoulder and circle round. Abdominals stay braced, let's squeeze the bottom. How does this shoulder feel? Any knots? Any niggles? If there isn't, while you do that, rotate the whole arm. Loosen that off. We're going to do the shoulders, so I want you to be aware of how they feel. Change over to the other side. Again, if you prefer to rotate forward, please do. If there's no knots and no niggles here, feel free to go in the full arm. Otherwise, stay with your hand onto your shoulder. Well done. I'm going to move you laterally. I want you to be aware of your back, your lower back particularly, the sides of your back, the area we call our QL, Quadratus lumborum. You're pushing your hip bones to one wall, pushing your fingers to the other. I want you to be aware of how that feels for you as you move, as you push from right to left. Because we're going to hopefully release this area as well. How's it feeling? Are we okay? Are we good? Let the back release, bend through the knees, loosen up that lower back. Perfect. You're going to roll yourself down to the floor. Inhale. Exhale. Walk out into your calf stretch. Now you might find all of a sudden you can actually get the heels down closer than you normally can. So I'm going to get you to bend one knee, feel the stretch in the other leg, and then change over to the other side. So normally you might not be able to get the heels down to the floor straight away, but because we've released the feet, we've released the calves, we've really released the bottom of that fascia in the foot, you might find that your heels go down a little bit easier. When you're ready, hold both legs straight, push the weight back. We're going to drop the knees to the floor. Sink back and walk the fingertips away. Head comes down, come low. Push your hips open. Stretch out the back here. Hands over to the right. Left hand on top. Change over to the other side. Bring the hands back to center. Well done. I'm going to come to sitting. We're going to grab that spiky ball and place it underneath our bum. I'm going to give you a couple of options. So you're underneath your right butt cheek, and I want you to kind of have a bit of a rub around on that wall, just like you were with your feet. See if you can find any sweet spots. And probably the one that will kind of come true the most will be your piriformis muscle. That will be the one that will kind of ping a little bit. Now, if your arms don't feel comfortable here to take your weight as you're doing this, feel free that you can come down on your elbows. And that might feel better for you just to take your weight. Alternatively, if you really can't take your weight up there, then place the ball underneath your bum as you lay down, and then you can take that rub. We're staying really very much on the bottom, so don't start travelating up towards your lower back, towards the area that we're going to work in a bit. I want you to stay into this butt. So maybe it feels better for you to work a little bit lower, almost kind of the area where your thigh and your bottom meet. Maybe for you it feels better to work more onto the side. Remember what I said about cellulite? Helps to reduce it. So I really want you to work into that area as well. I'm not saying you've got it, but just as a prevention rather than a cure. So just give that a little bit of release. Working through the bottom there. Big movements. Letting those trigger points release for you. Well done. Let's change over to the other side. So we're coming over on this other side. Remember, if it doesn't feel good for you to prop yourself up onto your arms here, if you can't take your weight there, come down on your elbows, come into your rub here, take your weight there. If that doesn't feel good for you either, lay yourself down and take your weight here. Remember what I said though, try not to travel up too far into your back. Make this very much about your butt. I want to get those big trigger points in the butt to release. So really pressing through as much as you can. Going quite low into the area where your bottom and your thigh meet. Going around the side of the butt, into the muscles that lie on the sides. So move however you want to. We're not stopping on any points here. We're just going to get that to release. We're just going to get each part a really good massage. And yeah, after the class, when you kind of maybe look at yourself in the mirror, you're probably going to have prickly points all over the body, and that's quite normal. Okay, so when you're ready, we're going to move up to QL. Now, this area here sits into the back, just above the kidneys, like little pockets that sit into you. We're not going over the spine, so not over that spinal cord. They almost sit like on the diagonal in between the rib cage and the hip bone. So if I'm going to put my ball there, it's going to be here to start with, it's going to be here. I'm going to lay myself down into the floor. The way I can get into my QL better is if I tilt, because I want to push in and across. So I want to come across the body here, tilting into it. Again, I'm working kind of into this move, in and out. I'm not holding any position for a long period of time. I'm bringing my legs back, releasing, and then I'm going again. That little pocket between your rib cage and your hip bone, right on the sides. Let that release. Good work. Breathe. Try not to hold the breath, because the breath will hold tension. I want you to let that tension go. If you don't feel anything, don't be alarmed. It just means that your QL muscles aren't tight, which is a bonus. It's a good thing. You're working into that side. I'm hoping you can see what I'm doing here. I'm pulling my knees over to the side while that ball is into that pocket there. And as it starts to feel like it's easing up and it's releasing, I'm then going to change over to the other side. So I'm coming over on this other side, getting that to release as I come over. So pushing the knees over. Nice natural breath as you do this. You might find one side is much tighter than the other. That's quite normal. Might be just where you kind of let your weight lie. Maybe you've got one side much more dominant than the other. So I'm working into this. Knees come over and then come back. That ball is right in that pocket between my rib cage and my hip bones. I'm going to go one more. Well done. Release from there. Hug the knees into the chest. Take a moment to release. Okay, where you are, just stay. I just want you to be aware. So we've got a bony joint where our vertebrae attaches to our pelvis, and it's called our sacroiliac, our SI joint. So when you lean forward, I'm just going to get a bit naked here. As I'm leaning forward, I can feel my SI joints here kind of stick out slightly. They're a bony part of my back as I lean forward there. We're going to be working into that SI joint. Feel free to grab a drink if you need to. Remember what I said to you about flushing out toxins? So So the ball's going to go onto one side, where the SI joint is. And again, I want you to rub over that SI joint, but not just rub side to side or forward and back. I want you to rotate, move forward and back and side to side. So do absolutely everything. And the only thing we're not doing is ever rolling across the spine. So we're never going across that vertebrae. We can work as far out as we wish. Again, maybe taking a rotation. Maybe up, down. Get that to release for you. When you're ready, you're going to place the spiky ball at the pit of your spine. So at your very, very lowest point here. Brace the belly, bring the pelvis into neutral. So you're going to stay in neutral spine, you're going to brace the abdominals, relax your arms. Bring your legs up to tabletop, knees over your hip bones, shins parallel. Hold strong here. Now take a tap down. Breathe out and breathe in. Tap downs with the spiky ball in this position, just under that kind of base of our spine, that area that's fused. These are super hard. Try not to let these knees come in too close. They want to stay over your hip bones rather than over your belly. So the further you tap away, the harder you work. Breathe it away and push. Try and relax the arms as much as you can. Get these trigger points to happen here. Let that release. Well done. Hold the legs. Take a couple of breaths. Move the legs away from you. Feet come down. We're going over the other side, SI joint. And again, we can work into this side just as far as that feels good for you. Recognize it. The SI joint gets very tight. So working with the trigger point can be a massive benefit for a lot of people. Think about how that feels. Again, you can go out as far as you want to, just don't cross over the vertebrae. But absolutely, you can work into the back of the pelvis, the bottom, the hip, any way you feel tight. Whenever you feel ready, gang, you're going to place that ball again under the pit of your spine. Neutral spine position with the pelvis, legs up to tabletop. Hold nice and strong, feel free to take your arms wide. We're going to take the legs out. Single leg stretch. The knee isn't coming too close over the hip bone. Brace the belly. Try and let go of the tension you might be holding here, in your chest, in your arms, in your neck. And instead, as you take the leg away, I want to breathe. Breathe out, breathe in. See how that feels as you do it. I'm going to do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Place the feet in butterfly. Let your knees open. And just open up through your hips. Take a little rock there if you need to. That ball is still underneath the base of my spine. Getting that to relax and release. Whenever it feels good for you, we're going to release from here. I'm going to bring the ball underneath one shoulder, and I'm trying to detect and find my biggest knot into my shoulder. So working again through the shoulder blade wherever that feels good for you. Have a little bit of a wriggle around. Make sure your knees are bent, so there's not too much pressure on your lower back. I want you to take a rub around onto that side. Be aware of how that feels. When you find your big knot, I want you to maybe work into it a little bit deeper, into that kind of massage there. You may feel it move, so maybe you have to move slightly to get that to release. Maybe you need to lift and lower your arm to feel it, to find it. Maybe you need to open and close your arm. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're just feeling that with that massage. Maybe you need to rotate. Whatever you need to do to get that shoulder to respond. Again, not over the vertebrae, but anywhere in that shoulder that you want. Feel free to lay with a bit of compression if you want to, especially into the top of the neck if that feels really quite tight. And then only when you're ready, you're going to release and change sides. So again on this side, we're just trying to find that knot. Maybe there's a lot, maybe there isn't, maybe there's only a few, maybe there's only one, maybe there's none. I want you to just really work into the shoulder. How's that feeling? As you're moving. Do you need to lift and lower your arm? Holding over a spot. Do you need to open and close your arm? Do you need to rotate and see how that feels? Maybe you need to go back to that rub. Again, working slightly further up, maybe into the top of the trap, so your trapezius, where the neck and the shoulder meet. Again, do you need to apply a bit of pressure here? Breathe. Think about how that feels. And then release. Take a full body stretch, the arms above the head, feet straight down. Let's stretch everything away. I want you to hug your knees into your chest and take a little rock here. Let your lower back relax. Circle round on the lower back, massage the lower spine. Go round in both directions. Uncross the feet, cross them the other way, do your rotations again. Rotating in both directions. Whenever you're ready, grab your band. Place it around your foot, lift your leg up to the ceiling. If you're not using a band tonight, that's absolutely fine. Feel free to hold the back of the leg, maybe use a strap if you want to. I want to get this leg just to stretch out after we've done quite a lot of work into it to get it to release. Because we work to release the foot, the ankle, the knee, the hip. So we want it to have a knock-on effect into the muscles. Let's hold that leg straight and then flex the foot and point the toes. So feeling the release coming through the calf into the Achilles tendon. Again, you're going to hold that foot flexed, pull the toes down, shoot the heel, pull on the band again if you've got it there. So feel that stretch as you draw that down. Let's turn the foot in so the heel flares out and the toes point inwards. We feel that deeper stretch coming through the outer thigh into the bottom. Being really aware of how that feels for you tonight. We turn the foot the other way so the heel is in, the toes go wide. And we really feel again that stretch and how that feels. Open the leg out wide to the side, holding on with our right hand only. If you want to extend your left leg down to the floor, please do. Pelvis stays level. Think about how that feels into the inner thigh as you stretch that away. Maybe you wish to take that arm up above the head to the floor behind you. Maybe you don't. It's your class. Release, bring it back. Now switch the hands over. Let's pull this leg across. Feel the stretch coming through our outer thigh, into our bottom, into our lower back. Let the shoulder drop down into the floor. We're going to bring the leg back up to the ceiling. Head and shoulders can come off the floor if you wish. Look to the knee. Take a breath. Inhale, exhale. Change the legs over. So we're over on our other side. I want you to just take a moment to release this leg. Feel the stretch. Be aware of how that feels. It's just working at your own pace, your own tempo here. Whenever you're ready, hold the leg straight, flex the foot, point the toes. So not only do I want you to release your ankle, but I want you to release your calf, your Achilles tendon there as well. Holding that foot flex, pull the toes down to you. Shoot the heel to the ceiling. Turn the foot in, let the heel flare out and pull on the band. Turn the foot the other way so the heel is in, the toes go wide. Holding on with our left hand only, we're going to open this leg wide to the side. Feel free to extend your right leg down to the floor. Right arm can go up above your head here, pelvis stays level. Feel the stretch there. Take our breath, inhale. As we exhale, we're going to pull this leg across. Bend the knee as much as you need to. Open up through your hip and your lower back. Let the shoulder come down into the ground. bring the leg up when you're ready. Again, you can look to the knee, head and shoulders can come off the floor. Stretch that leg a little bit further. We're going to release the leg. Take a full body stretch. Arms above the head, feet straight down. And then take the hands behind the head, lift the head up. Chin on the chest, look to the feet. Lower down. Lift up, turn the head to one side. Lower down, change sides. Bring it center. Hug the knees into the chest again. Take a little rock. Bring yourself slowly up to sitting. Feel free to turn on one side if you needed to for that. Pull up lovely and tall. Place the hand down, lift over. Change sides. Place the hands back behind you, lift the chest. Bring yourself to centre. Take a moment with your eyes closed. Just think about how you feel. So recognise that for you, just for a moment. Be aware of how you feel physically, how you feel mentally. And how you feel emotionally. You have a moment of gratitude. Being thankful that we were able to do this class for us today. That we chose to put ourselves first. That we understand the importance of that. Of doing something for your body, something for your mind, and something for your soul. Very slowly bring yourself round. Just walking your fingertips along the floor, as far away as you can go. Maybe open up the knees a little bit further. Be aware of your hips. We then turn the toes under, lift the hips up, lengthen out the back of the legs into calf stretch. We take a slow walk back to our feet, recorrect our feet under our pelvic bones. Take a breath, inhale, exhale, and we rise, vertebrae by vertebrae. Bring the neck and head up last and roll our shoulders back. We take a breath. As we exhale, we roll down. Drop our chin, heavy head comes forward. Let go of any last little bit of tension from the body. Let it fall out of the crown of the head. Inhale, exhale, and rise. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Bring the neck and head up last. Roll the shoulders back. Take a breath. As you exhale down to prayer position, I want you to think about your posture. How does your body feel now? Take another breath. As you exhale now, bring the pelvis into neutral spine alignment. Your neck is lovely and long. And one more time, inhale. As you exhale, I want you to grow taller. Let your shoulders come away from your ears. Let your spine lengthen and grow. We take our right arm above our head and our left. Our right hand forward and our left. Right palm in and our left. We give ourselves and each other a superb round of applause. Gang, I really, really hope you